Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Solutions Brewing Podcast. I'm Rob, and we have both Brendan and Steve joining me today.
Hello.
Hello.
And today we are going to talk about something we missed last week because life got busy and we weren't able to record. And that is the... Sorry? Go ahead,
I was going to say that's something about flights and storms that keep happening.
That's right. It was actually mostly my fault because I started taking flight lessons and they keep getting canceled.
Flying in Calgary in June.
Yeah.
Mornings are your friend.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate because I go to work. I'm like, man, it looks great out here today. Hope this holds up. And then, like by 5 o'clock, which is when I'm supposed to start driving out there, instructor's like, can't go. I'm like, damn it.
Well, that's like the storms today. Like it, like there was a little bit of hail at my house. Like it was just like little pea-sized stuff, but it hit the south and southwest apparently pretty hard, and Chestermere and east of Chestermere.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it doesn't matter. My instructor's on holidays now anyway, so can't fly no matter what.
Well, that's a shame.
Oh.
But yeah, we were up on June 22nd up at
We're in Olds.
Well, Olds.
Yes, there's an Olds Beerfest. We were up there.
Which it's been going on for a couple of years now. Like we've never, again, until we were kind of invited to it earlier this year, we'd never heard of it or known that one was actually happening there. So we're like, okay, Olds Beerfest, neat. And then asked, is it in the Ag building? And sure enough, it was in the Ag building.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a fair-sized building and fit everybody in there. It was a good venue.
Yeah, Rob, like you got there, well, I was going to say just before me, but you actually had load-in pretty much done by the time I got there.
Yeah, well, I mean, our load-in is really easy. The hardest part was I had one of the coolers that was full of like 4 or 5 cases of beer. So I just needed some help carrying that because it's a large cooler. That's a lot to carry a certain distance because I didn't have the dolly. Steve had the dolly.
Well, I was getting the dolly fixed because the dolly that we have, it's a 2 friction pin system to have like the wheels on, and one of them was basically busted. So since I was staying at my parents' at the night after, I had brought him by and I was like, hey Dad, while I'm here, we like the hour beforehand, hey, can we take a look at this real quick and see if we can fix it? And turns out couldn't fix it in the time. Like it wasn't, even though we were like putting it in properly and torquing it correctly, it just wasn't catching within the axle on the hand truck. So we actually borrowed my dad's like super heavy duty one, which is actually quite nice because it actually has a big sheet of plywood on the bottom, which makes it hauling all the coolers way easier.
Yeah, help balance that out. So anyway, that didn't really help for load in. That was help for load out because I can't carry it. I had some help. I was able to. Dylan from Balzac helped me carry the larger cooler, and I was able to do the rest after that. It's just the one.
But yeah, and it was kind of funny because they had set up 3:30. Even though setup was before then, like there's a lot of booths already like completely set up by the time we were there.
Yeah, I mean, so it was kind of funny because the instructions were they said to show up at 3:30 to get set up and make sure everything's ready and they were gonna have a meeting. Like, okay, so I made sure I got there on time. Didn't matter. They actually had the meeting like 15 minutes before they were opening the doors to everybody.
Yeah. And it was basically like, have your pro serve and send us an invoice. And we're like, okay.
Yeah. So it was like
good meeting, guys.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was an hour and a half of mostly waiting because it doesn't take that long for us to set up. We could probably set up in like 30 minutes. So then the rest of the time we just chatted with everyone else who was there and had a beer with a couple people.
Yeah, like we again our good friends at 948, Dave. Yeah, Dave was up, so was was talking with him for a little bit, and then we took a tour and walked around because there was one place that we hadn't seen before, and that was Crude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they were in Canada at least. They're a vodka drink company that's trying to bring their energy or reformulate their energy drinks for Canada. However, they originally released their energy drinks down in the U.S., specifically Texas, and their imagery is very like macho, like dinosaur, macho pig.
It was a rig, like a rig pig.
Yeah, like rig pig. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty interesting. I'm gonna say never sampled any of theirs yet. We've got a 4-pack of it sitting for sharesies after, but
speaking of which, I still have those. We should meet up and distribute.
Yeah,
them.
maybe next week.
Cool.
That might work. But yeah, they were interesting because they were just like homegrown people, started in the U.S. and then like starting to bring it back to Canada, and they were actually talking about in the U.S. They're coming up with both an energy drink and it's basically a vodka seltzer at the same time. So it's a vodka energy drink because you can do that down there, which sounds incredibly irresponsible, but whatever.
Yes, here we require people to buy the 2 drinks separately
and then put them together. Yeah, you got to take that step yourself. You just can't buy the beverage pre-mixed.
Yeah. So we over prepared for this one because
for
anyone listening, if you remember, we were at the zoo and we got smoke showed there. Everything gone. So we're like, okay, well, we better make sure we bring enough. So we brought a lot.
And we brought 2 cases of each.
And so we brought 10 beers, 2 cases of each. We're like, this should be plenty. Even if we run out of one, we still have others.
Yeah. And we did maybe 2 cases total.
2 cases, and then we traded 2 cases.
And then we traded 2 cases, and then we gave away some beers at the end.
And we also gave a bunch away.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a slower show than the zoo. Freeport.
It was for us. It was quite slow. Although people seemed to be there more for some of the spirits because we were right beside Silver Devil, and they had a lineup the entire time.
Yeah, there was only twice that I remember that whole again 3.5 hour whatever we were there for, that they actually had a break. But it was the one woman was constantly pouring, and they had these little juice dispensers, so the little glass jar on a stand, and you pull the lever and stuff comes out. So that was her pre-mixed concentrate, and she had 2. So she had 2 spirits, gin or vodka, and then she had the 2 juices, so you could choose.
Yeah.
But she couldn't keep up. She literally couldn't keep up, and her assistant kept on making all of the
garnishes and stuff.
Garnishes until they ran out of garnishes, and then he was pre-pouring all of the the juice, not the juices, all of the
vodkas and the spirits.
The spirits, yeah. And then he was desperately trying to keep the juice things stocked. It was incredible. He worked so
good
hard.
For them.
And Rob, what was that brewery out of Rocky Mountain House?
Rocky Mountain House.
Yeah, it was on the map. It was south of Nordegg.
All right,
and
no, that's a brewery. It wasn't a distillery.
Yeah, but it was beside the distillery. Rising River or something, or I don't know. Actually, let me look it up real quick here.
If only we had the internet at our fingertips.
Yeah,
but sadly, such a thing was destroyed. Oh no, wait, it's still here.
Rival Trade.
There it is. Yeah.
So they had a really interesting idea that I kind of want to copy, but it would cost a little bit. Because what they did is for our shows, we have the back banner, we have our little side banners and all kind of stuff. These guys had a TV, so they had a little looping video. It was the nice scenic shots of the Rocky Mountain House area, fishing and all this kind of stuff at the brewery and at one of the like trading posts or restaurants nearby that they also are served at. But it wasn't on power at the place, so they actually had a welded frame that the TV sat on, and then it plugged into a portable battery, and it ran for like, again, 3 hours, and it was just video on loop or whatever, and it was so effective because it kept drawing my eyes over all the time it did a transition. So I kind of want to do that for our shows going forward, except it's large and bulky. Plus you need a sacrificial TV.
Well, I mean, whatever TVs are, you can find a sacrificial TV, but
well, it would also be one that isn't too power hungry. That would be the problem. You have to get like something, again, not super modern, but like something that's light enough to be portable and doesn't draw a lot of power. So
I've got one sitting in my basement that's not even plugged in.
But it that might work, yeah.
Just take it. I don't even use it. I don't watch TV. If I watch something, I watch it on my computer. So
yeah, but it was like the little video they had made. It was really slick because it was the scenic shots, and then it was like their beer, and it had like the little description of the beer, and then it like transitioned to the next thing, and that was so smart. I haven't seen that at a show yet, and like they had it figured out.
That means we need to make a video though, Steve.
Yes.
Or a bunch of pictures with a slideshow, I guess.
Yeah,
just show
something along the lines of that.
PowerPoint presentation going the whole time.
But yeah, like it was pretty slick. So I was very impressed by that. But speaking of which, like how was the show, Rob? Like, compared to some of the other ones that we do.
It was good. I mean, people were good. It was a different crowd for sure, right? Like when you're in Calgary or Edmonton, you can tell you get like I'm going to say a younger crowd. This one drew like a little bit of an older crowd.
In their 40s and 50s. Mm-hmm. Some younger, some older, but generally it was that like Gen X kind of crowd.
Yeah, and real cowboys.
And yeah, real cowboys. Cowboys with cowboy hats that you then realize are actually cowboys that have seen a cow.
Yes, their boots and jeans were actually dirty.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had dirt on them.
Yeah. But like it was a bit slower for us. Like we had a lot of time to go talk to, like I was talking to Evil Corporation was beside us. So I talked to them for a good chunk of time, and then being able to, like, we could have wandered if we really wanted to. And then occasionally, like, there was the Olds Brewery people who came by, and we managed to talk to them for a really good chunk of time because they were just like, hey, we're here to sample, and they were volunteering. We got tickets, so we'll sit here and sample. And I was like, you're volunteering. We'll just drink. Like, here, free pour because you're volunteering. And like, he kept on bringing over more and more people, so it actually worked out quite well. We actually did get a nice kudos on both the Goza and the Friends Night Out from one of the brewers was a former brewer of Dandy Brewing. He really liked the beers. And the other two, one worked at Olds College in the brewery program. And I can't remember the third guy. He was involved. He knew a couple of different people. So, yeah, it was nice to hear from industry professionals that they liked our beer.
Oh, excellent.
Mm-hmm. And then again, like once we like the show was over, sort of thing, they had a band start playing at 9:30. It was like something in the Rat Catchers or something. I don't know, some local band,
but yeah,
it was something in the Rat Catchers. But it was like a 6-piece band, and they were singing basically like 80s, 90s hits. So like Journey to punk to like everything in between, rock, Nickelback. Like, yeah, it was just a smorgasbord of stuff. So, and it was neat because they had a fridge, and you were able to basically just order any of the beers that were being featured. So you could just have a free beer and just do that. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty standard. I found out like everyone I talked to, they all kind of went through the same amount of beers. So it's pretty standard. But yeah, like I said, I think the spirits the distilleries seem to have stood out a little bit more on this show.
Yeah, there's that other one. I can't remember where someone was Brave. It was like a distillery, restaurant, and bar kind of thing. They were also, I heard they were pretty busy. But they were, again, a little ways away from us. We didn't see them much directly.
Yeah, they were on the other end of the hall from where we were.
Yeah.
The Ag Center.
Mm-hmm. But all in all, Rob, would you go again?
Yeah, why not?
Because we've already signed up, so we have to kind of go now.
Oh, Rob doesn't have to go, but Solutions has to go.
Solutions has to go.
Somebody's going.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was some sad news this week.
Yes, very recent sad news.
Yes, there was a fire at Old Beautiful. I haven't heard what the cause of was yet. I only heard that it was pretty bad. Part of the roof did come down.
Basically, all of the inside is basically gutted.
And this did happen early in the morning. We're talking. I think the article said
2:30 was the call out or something like that on Sunday night.
So around like 2:30 in the morning. There's nobody there. So just whatever caused the fire, just lit the place up. Yeah.
So as far as right now, is the arson group or the arson part of the fire department is investigate. They don't have anything yet. Just super random. Hope it wasn't a deliberate fire. Hoping it was an accidental. Just a shame because again, one of the breweries and they make good beers, and unfortunately, their tap room went up. So
and literally right beside Cold Garden.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fire was literally next door to Cold Garden.
Yeah. So at least, fortunately, they don't make a lot of their beers on site. They make a lot of their beers off site. So like their beers are still all over the place. But this week, if you go and buy a 6-pack, that would be good to drive demand for the brewery because they need a little help right now.
They've lost the tap room, so now they have are liquor sales.
Yeah.
They still have their offsite production facilities.
Yes. So but it's just like they lost their storefront, that sucks. And I can't remember because I haven't been in there in a while. I don't know if they had any of their brewery, some of their smaller brewery equipment in there anymore or not. Because I remember years ago they everything was in there, but I think they may have moved some of their stuff, the bigger equipment out. So
I have no idea. And honestly, since recovering from cancer, I very rarely drink anymore, so I don't venture out as much anymore. I don't know what these places are like.
So here's hoping that again they get a good boost in sales next little bit to help them cover for the next little bit, and then hopefully rebuild because that was a great location, and it'd be a shame to lose a brewery in that location, in that spot. Yeah, Ramsey and Inglewood were really hurt to lose that. Yeah, I mean that stuff they were some of the original breweries to open up in that area, and kind of part of the whole revitalization of that whole space. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because otherwise it was a rundown industrial space area.
Yeah, because the old the Old Beautiful building used to be the old Smith built building. So they were making hats in the area. And then the Cold Garden building was, just basically an old factory. So, yeah. But, with best wishes to them. And, hopefully rebuilding soon. Once they figure out, again, what happened. And hopefully an accident and no one was being mean.
Yeah. They're just hoping they get back on their feet for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's pretty much for this week, folks.
Yeah. Sorry to end it on such a down note. That's sad.
Yeah, downer, but you know what? It's good to mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and support them if you can.
Yep. Go get some of their Okami beer. The Japanese inspired lager they have.
That one actually.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Nice
so Yeah.
Well, if anybody was at Olds and wants to tell us how they enjoyed our beer or which of their spirits was their favorite, how could they let us know, Steve?
Well, they could go to our website, solutionsbrewing.com, and on there's a contact form you can send, which sends an email to our email address, noproblems@solutionsbrewing.com. There's also a newsletter sign up that we send out maybe once a month, maybe a little bit more. We might slow down this summer because we don't have a lot of events going on. And you can also hit up our beer store on there. We do deliveries in Calgary and area. So one of the three lovely gentlemen of Solutions Brewing will make a delivery to you. And also our socials at Solutions Brewing Co. on Instagram and Facebook. We do post periodically there on like where we're going and what we're doing. So yeah, any of those. And as well, if you're also looking for our beers, you can check on our website, The Beer Hunter, and that has our locations that we've had our deliveries orders to for the last little bit. So if you're looking for us in store.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, thanks everyone for joining us.
Yeah. Take care.